Hello and welcome to my first day of my online advent video calendar. Today I want to set up with you my threads of the last month for this year. As for the theme, I chose Merry and Cozy. I didn't want to go with all the Christmas vibes, but still have some in it and rather be, more cozy. So if you're here to plan along with me, make sure you have your stationeries ready, and if not, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. So as you can see, I already sketched out my sketches. And now I'm going to outline my sketch with a brown pigment micron. I found that one on Amazon. If you want to know what exactly I use, I will link my products in the info box. But as always, you don't have to buy the same things I have, just use what you have at home. I outline my sketch with incomplete lines. Next, I use my Pigma Micron in the color gray and the size 01 to outline the pages of the books. For the coloring, I will use my White Nights watercolors. I will use a Sable Hair Brush in the size 6. And I mix a light wash of black, really light wash, so I get a light gray, and start painting the shadows for the book. Then I start mixing a really nice dark blue color. For that I use ultramarine and mute it down with a bit of cadmium orange and more ultramarine to get this really nice dark blue. I start with a lighter wash and leave out a space for where the candlelight would hit the book. Oh, by the way, here I used my Princeton art brush in the size 6, as it doesn't hold that much water as the other brush, and the tip is more sharp. With a bit of violet, I darkened the parts where the book would have some shadows. The same I do with the second book. For the one between the blue ones, I mix, I think it was Madder Red Light with Burnt Umber. And again, I really like this nice dark red. The shadows for that book, I mixed some black in the red. Again, I'm sorry that I haven't noticed that my camera died. I have a Canon, and when you film with a Canon, it only records 30 minutes and then shuts down. And often I don't notice when that happens. So I'm sorry that I don't have the part where I colored the candle. I'm really curious if there is a way to reprogram that it doesn't shut down after 30 minutes. I think I will have to do some research on that because, yeah, it's really annoying, to say it least. Okay, then I started painting the branches of the pine tree. For that, I used a mix of green and yellow green. I started with a light value of that, and do some strokes, flicking my hand. After that, I went in with a darker mixture of only green and more pigment of that to get a nicer look, creating more depth. Next, I started painting the Christmas balls hanging off the pine tree. And for that, I use the same mixtures I had on my palette, the red and the blue. And I tried to darken one side of them where the shadow would hit the ball, and tried to leave a space for highlight, but sometimes not sometimes, I always forgot. I always forget to leave a highlight space for that. Yeah, but it's okay. We can go over that and create some highlights with a jelly roll pen or wash. With a metallic gold pen, I scribbled some nonsense on the books, and also drawn that cup thingy hanging thing on the balls. I have no idea what that is called. Do you have an idea? If so, please let me know in the comments. Next I wrote, the theme. Normally I would have a quote there, but this time it's just only 3 words, so I sketched out the words. And that took a while because I tried something out, erased that, tried it out again, and erased that again, and then it was too big for my liking, and I erased all of it. And lastly, went with a smaller version of that. And it says merry and cozy. I wrote that with the pigment liner in orange first, but then thought that doesn't quite fit the color theme of this page, so I went over that with the brown one, and then realized, oh, to write with both of them looks great. So I did that for the rest as well. And that's it for now for my cover page. I will go back to that page later and create a gift tag where I write a mini calendar on, because I felt the left side was a bit empty looking. But for now, let's turn the page and move on to create the calendar spread. I start with cutting a piece of the side away to create a Dutch door. Rounded the edges. And then started outlining my calendar with a brown pigment liner, again with incomplete lines. With the Pit Artist pen in India Red, I marked the space for the header. I wrote the days with the metallic gold pen and then started drawing or painting the Christmas balls again, using the colors that I had on my palette. In the bottom, I sketched out 2 candles for the coziness and colored them in again with the colors that I had on my palette. And this time I used this pinkish violet one. And that was a mix of, I think it was carmine with violet, muted down with green, I think. And to frame the pages, I drawn some pine branches again. I darkened the Christmas balls here and there. Then I wrote the title December on top of that, using a flourished script font. Again, I used my brown pigment liner. With a jelly roll in a size 10, I drawn in some highlights on the Christmas balls. On the left bottom side, I felt that was empty as well, so I drawn in some little tiny stars. My title got a drop shadow with a silver metallic pen, and that's it for this calendar spread. Let's turn the pages around to create my habit tracker and content planner page. Again, I wrote the titles in a flourished font. And then use the Pit Artist pen to line the header of the habit trackers and health tracker, as well as for the content planner. I used the red pigment pen that came in that set of my pigment liner to mark in the boxes for the trackers. The same I did for the content planner. And under that, I decided to leave out the notes section, which I do mostly under that, to create a space to reflect the last months. With my Tombow N89, I drawn in the lines for the trackers. And marked every second line for the health tracker with the brush side, as well as for the reflection space. With the silver metallic pen, I wrote the headers for the trackers. I will track this month's sport, go for a walk, dog training, Instagram, health, and my planner is for the video status. And that's it for this page. And now we can start the first page of our weekly spreads. For them, I will cut the sides to create Dutch doors again. For that, I cut out 2 pages. And then with this blue or dark blue pigment liner, I line the space for the weekly planner. Herefore, I use incomplete lines again. And as you can see, I sketched out a pine cone on the bottom side on one page, and then I realized, oh well, I will cut that out again. Oh no. But I thought, okay, let's just cut around that and use it to glue it on top instead of sketching it all out again. And I liked it. How do you decorate your planners? Are you using watercolor like me, or are you using pens? I really would love to use more pens, but I don't like to draw with them because they leave streaks behind, and I don't like the look of that. If you use pens, let me know what you do to prevent that stroking. Here I started coloring the pine cone. For that I used yellow ochre for the top of the what are they called, of the thingies, and darkened them first with burnt umber and went even darker with sepia. I colored the glass of the candle with burnt umber. And colored the books under that again with the red and blue mixture from the beginning. Then I wrote December on the upper left and wrote a mini calendar under that, as well as a note section under the mini calendar. I wrote the mini calendar with my pigment liner in black in the size 005. The days for the weekly planner I wrote with the reddish pigment liner, as well as the header for my shopping list: groceries, drugstore, online. In the right upper corner, I made a section for to-dos and colored the tabs in red and blue. And that's it for my setup for this month. How do you like it? Which design do you like the most? What is your theme this month? Let me know in the info box. I would love to hear from you and to chat with you guys. I hope you have a nice day.